Lately, I've been noticing something about getting older. There's this unspoken assumption that relevance belongs to the young, that once you've reached a certain age, you're gradually becoming less important, less necessary, less part of the conversation. And I think it's making many of us a little more anxious than we need to be. When I was younger, I thought relevance meant being noticed. It meant your ideas mattered in the room. Your presence was felt. Your name carried weight. I spent a lot of energy trying to stay current, useful, seen. And there's nothing wrong with that hunger exactly. It's just based on a rather narrow definition of what it means to matter. But as I've grown older, I've noticed something else. The moments that make me feel genuinely useful, genuinely needed, aren't the flashy ones. They're the quiet ones. A friend calling because they know I'll listen without immediately trying to fix things. A younger person asking for advice, not because I'm famous, but because they trust my judgment. Simply showing up consistently as someone reliable. Not performing relevance, just being relevant. There's real grief in that shift, if I'm honest. There's a version of myself I had to let go of, the one who believed that relevance meant being at the center of everything, who thought mattering was about attention rather than depth. Some days I still feel that old tug, that familiar hunger. It would be easier if I could tell you I'd completely moved beyond it. But I haven't. What I've found instead is something quieter, and perhaps something more durable. The kind of relevance that comes from genuinely knowing things, not because you've kept up with every new idea, but because you've lived, paid attention, made mistakes, and learned from them. The kind that gets passed quietly from one person to another, like a favorite family recipe. The world has always been fascinated by youth. Youth brings energy, novelty, urgency. There's nothing wrong with that. But the accumulated weight of years creates a different kind of presence. You stop feeling the need to prove quite so much. You become a little more honest. You spend less time wondering whether people like you, and more time wondering whether you can still be useful to them. And it turns out those are very different questions. I'm curious though. Is this a shift you've noticed in your own life? Or is this simply one of those thoughts that's unique to me? And if you have felt it, what have the years quietly taught you that you never expected to learn? Until next time, keep wondering.